Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Haba. We're continuing Mishnah Berurah Daf HaShavua. We're learning Siman Kuf Ches. We're in the middle of Sif Beis. The Mechaber said if you missed a Tefilla, you made a mistake, you didn't daven Mincha, you daven Marav twice. The first one Marav and the second one for Tashlumin. If you missed Marav and you daven Shachris twice. The first one Shachris and the second one for Marav. After you say Shemana Esrei for Shachris, say Ashrei and then make up Marav. Or if you're saying Ashrei anyway at the end of Shachris, so you'll say Shemana Esrei, Ashrei, Marav. Or if you're davening Marav twice, because you didn't daven Mincha, so you daven Marav, say Ashrei, and then make up Mincha. Says the Mishnah Berurah, when I said that you should daven Shemana Esrei, Ashrei, and then make up Marav, I didn't mean to skip Tachnon. Including Tachnon. This is a remez that today you're supposed to say Tachnon, right? Here we have a Beferish Mishnah Berurah that on these days you say Tachnon. I know we don't need the Mishnah Berurah here. The Mishnah Berurah's shita is of course that you do say Tachnon today, but just to be mechazik, the important inyan of saying Tachnon these days. De'ein lahafsik bein Shemana Esrei Tachnon. We're not mafsik between Shemana Esrei and Tachnon. Okay, Yomer Ashrei. Kedei lamoid gam betfilas tashlumin mitoch divrei tanchumin shel Torah. Just like there's an idea that a obligatory tefillah you're supposed to daven from the words of consolation of Torah, so the tefillas tashlumin we also want to daven from the tachnunim shel Torah. V'chanal b'siman tzadi gimel. V'gam, also the habalav hachi, yeh tzarech loimer ashrei koidem lam natseach uvalatzion. Yoimrena achshav loimer acharkach. Also, anyway you need to say ashrei before lam natseach and uvalatzion. So say it now, and then you won't have to say it again. So basically, you're going to say Shemana Esrei. You're gonna say Tachnon. You're gonna say Ashrei. You're gonna daven Marav, and then you'll go back and you'll say Lam Natseach and Uvaltzin. Let's say you're davening Mincha twice. Bishvel Hashlama. What do you say? You should also say Ashrei again. So you can say Ashrei, Mincha, Ashrei, make up Shachris. V'chol zehu rak l'chadchila. Avol midina ein tzarich hafsakim in tefillah. But me'ikra, then you don't have to interrupt between one tefillah and another. How much? Rak kedei hiluch arba amos. Only to be able to go 4 amos. K'masha kasav le'el b'simin kufhei. Okay. Bain. Back. What?
You take 3 steps back.
Do you take 3 steps back after the first one?
And then do it again? I don't remember if we discussed this or not.
We didn't discuss it. We didn't see anything about this. Do you take 3 steps back? I'm not sure yet. But by the way, one question you could ask is, why do you need to say Ashrei before you make up Marav? You already said Tachnon, which is also Torah. Pri Megadim says it's not considered Torah for this, only Ashrei. The Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that even if you're not going to wait until after Ashrei, you should wait until after you hear Kedusha, and Marav until after Kaddish Tiskabel. Okay, weiter. Bain, Sivkat and Yodaled. Also, if you're making up Marav, if you're davening Marav twice, you should say Ashrei a second time. You should say Ashrei between Marav and your makeup for Mincha. Bain, Kidei lahashlam b'zeh gama Ashrei she'atzach lemer kadam Mincha. You want to make up the afternoon Mincha. But you can't make up the afternoon Tachnon, you can't say Tachnon at night. some achronim say in the name of the Kabbalists that you don't make up Ashrei at night. Because of Derech HaChaim, the Eich Sha'adam Yinag V'zeh Yishlei Ami Lisnach. However you want to be known, you have what to rely on. Ach Kozman Shu Yoim, if it's still day, Lo Yimana Milamar Ashrei Avshu Achar Tfilas HaMincha. If it's still day, you should definitely say Ashrei. Al Kain, Mnis Achar Uva LeBeis HaKnesses V'shash HaTzibur Tzchil B'Tfilas HaMincha. Let's say you came late to Shul, when the Tzibur already began Mincha. Yispali Mahim, down with them, V'yomer Ashrei Achar Kach, and say Ashrei afterwards. Meaning, if you come late to shul, you want to chaperein davening Shmona Esrei with them, and you'll say Ashrei afterwards. That the Magen Avram says, if you're going to say Shmona Esrei first and say Ashrei afterwards, you should not say it as a obligation, but rather just like Kar B'Torah. Fine. Sif Gimel. Hadim mashlam atfila shiv sedavka bezman tfila b'shah she'in zman tfila loy. You could only be mashlam tfila you could only be mashlam a tfila that you missed if it's bezman tfila, but if it's not bezman tfila, you can't be mashlam. Says the Mishnah Berurah, bezman tfila. Yesh me'achronim shekasu shroitz alaymer. Some achronim write, this means as follows. This is the opinion of the Malbushe Yamtov and the Pri Chadash. Deloy tiknu chazal tfilas hashlama, rak ba'idenu oisek b'tfilasoi ho'ikaras, achar sheshak kedei hiluch arba amois oy asher b'intayim. That you can only make up a missing tefillah when you are engaged in the primary obligatory tefillah. Aval harbe, that's what it means, bizman tefillah. Bizman tefillah doesn't mean the time that you could daven, it means the time that you're actively engaged in fulfilling your obligatory tefillah. Aval harbe achar meskimu da'aftel chachila v'vadi tzarch lizar b'zel espal tefillas hashama take of achar tefillas achivas. Many achronim write, even though the chachila definitely you should be careful to be mashim the tefillah right after you're involved in the obligatory tefillah. B'diavad in ma'akev, it's not ma'akev b'diavad. Rak im avar zman tefillah. It's only ma'akev b'diavad if, let's say you're making up mariv. You can't make up mariv after the zman tefillah shachris has passed. You can't make up shachris after the zman tefillas mincha has passed. Meaning after shkia, you can't make up a missing shachris. Dahainu im lo yisval arvis yisval shachris shtayim rak ad arba shos aliyam shu zman tefillas l'shachris. You can only make up mariv 4 hours into the morning. Dahanoitel avor zeh schar tefillah bezmana, because you're being accredited for this, the reward for tefillah in its right time. Mashenkin achar arba shos, as opposed to after 4 hours. Dahanoitel rak schar tefillah rachame. You're only going to get schar for tefillah. We know that if you daven after the zman, you don't get schar tefillah bezmane, only schar tefillah. Tefillah. Ken kasar primagadu magin barim v'derech HaChaim. This is what all these achronim write. Ela sheb'derech HaChaim hoisiv davar chadash. The derech HaChaim adds a new point. Shaloi nizkaru b'shar achronim. V'hu, and that is the imgam tfilas shachris gufa lo yispalel ad achar arba shois. What if I miss Marav, and I know I'm supposed to make up Marav within the Zman Tefillah, but I didn't even daven Shachris within the Zman Tefillah. So, and I'm davening Shachris after 4 hours, then then I do need to daven twice since I'm engaged in tefillah. Meaning that I'm only allowed to make up a missing tefillah, bizman tefillah, but if the ikar tefillah I'm doing after the zman tefillah, I could also make up the missing tefillah. So it's very interesting. It's almost counterintuitive. Because the guy is doing something wrong, therefore we let him do another thing wrong. In other words, because he's davening the ikar tefillah, shaloi bismanoi, now he could daven the tashlum shaloi bisman. Now this is going according to the achronim, that davening the tashlumin at the time of the chiyuvis is not ma'akev. But it does give a certain allowance if you're not davening the tefillah chiyuvis bizman tefillah. V'im shachach l'spal mincha. Let's say you forgot mincha. could I daven? Now, Mariv, I'm supposed to daven till Chatzos. I could daven it the whole night. Can I make up mincha the whole night? Yesh oimrim de mispala Mariv shtayim rak ad Chatzos halayla. Some say you only daven Mariv twice until Chatzos. Shehu zman haroi la'arvis l'charchila, which is the l'charchila zman for Mariv. I would say you should be able to make it up the whole night. V'ayin shem b'derech hachaim masha kasav oid bazel lahalacha. Where he says that if you're davening Mariv itself after Chatzos, you can make a mincha. Just like if you daven Shachris achar arba shois. Amnam a Prima Gadim because of Zman hashlomas tfilas mincha kol halayla amana shachar. The Prima Gadim says the Zman to make up mincha is the whole night until alois. Because the Prima Gadim holds the Zman Tefilla of Mariv is ad alois l'charchila. It's only a din in Kriya Shema. It should be before Chatzos. Mi keklar chakira. We know Kriya Shema l'charchila has to be till Chatzos. Does Mariv l'charchila have to be till Chatzos? In other words, let's say I already said Kriya Shema b'zmanai. Do I still need to daven Mariv l'charchila until Chatzos, or do I have the whole night? So the Derech HaChaim says no, l'charchila. I only have to Chatzos to daven Mariv as well. Therefore, I can only make up mincha until Chatzos. Prima Gadim says there's no din that Mariv l'charchila has to be till Chatzos. Okay. Vim shachach v'lo yispal shachris. Let's say I forgot shachris. Yesh lo hashlama rak me'es shemaschel zman mincha. I can only make it up from when the zman mincha starts, which is v'hu shah shachar Chatzos, 30 minutes after Chatzos. V'gam sheyispal mincha me'koydem. V'nimshach zman hashlama b'di'eved ad ben hashlama shais. The zman of making up a mis shachris would go until ben hashlama shais. L'chachar min shkia. In the world of the Mishnah Berurah. So the Mishnah Berurah would say you can only make up shachris until shkia. I guess for those who daven mincha until later, they have more time to make up shachris. V'afilu hayu yoim sheyesh by musaf. Let's say like this. I miss shachris. Now I have to daven mincha. And I have to make up shachris. I can make up shachris until bein hashmashas. Even if I've already davened musaf, I could still make up shachris. Afilu hayom sheish b'musaf b'sal musaf b'emtza. Kol zeh atakti min ha'achronim l'dina. Am l'charchila yoyser nachem b'chol zeh. L'charchila, it's always more correct. Shem lo yisbal take up tefillas hashlama achar tefillas hachiyuvis. It's always best that if you don't daven the tefillas hashlama right after the obligatory tefillah, you should stipulate that your makeup tefillah is also a nedava. Yispalos v'tars nedava. Dahainu sheyasna v'yamar stipulate. Im ani chayiv, if I'm obligated to make up this tefillah harezu l'chayvasi. But if I'm not, because I'm not davening it after the obligatory tefillah, and some achreinim say maybe I can't daven the makeup anymore, v'mlav harehi nedava. V'chein hiskim ha-prima gadim. Okay, we'll hold over here, Rabbi Isai. Have a great day. Be matzliach. Bracha v'atzlacha.